Hello guys, I often advise to everyone to read Laravel docs, more often because it contains a lot of information. But at the same time, the docs are overwhelming because there's a lot of information. So for juniors and newcomers, where do you even start? Is it in the right order to start? Do I have to read everything, and if not, how to pick the topics? And yes, it's quite a lot. If you don't believe me, here's a challenge by Josh, and he printed out all the 1,472 pages of the docs. He will read them for you. Follow him on Twitter. And also in one of the comments, Jason calculated that it should took around 33 hours to read the docs. Of course, that's a lot. So that's why back in 2021, I prepared Laravel Learning Roadmap to help those who are at a crossroad like which part to read. I tried to put everything in sequence as I envision it, with extra links on top of Laravel documentation. And recently I updated this roadmap for 2024 with one totally new level section, so I will comment about that and generally quickly run through levels, what you need to learn in which order in my opinion. First, the overview of the levels. I identified 5 levels. Beginner, so from scratch, then advanced beginner, and I will talk about the difference in a minute. Then level 3 is mid-level, then new level 4 is full stack mid-level, which I will talk about that in a bit, and then finally senior level. And each level has kind of a challenge and kind of a goal to accomplish. So let's start from the beginner level, where you basically install Laravel and you need to create your first CRUD project. I've grouped the topics how I would try to learn them. So for example, routing first and controller fundamentals and all the MVC. So V is for view and blade. So those 2 topics are probably the most important ones. And by the way, for many of the topics I have tests, so you can test yourself by completing the tasks. I'm currently working on updating those tests to Laravel 11, but you can try them even now. The links will be in the roadmap, and I will link the full roadmap in the description below. So first MVC, then auth basics, then database basics with migrations and eloquent and relationships. And then with that, you can kind of build all the simple structure for the CRUD application. And I have a separate free course for that, Laravel for Beginners, your first project, or you can go through official Laravel bootcamp, both for free. So yeah, the goal of the beginner level, in my opinion, is to create something for yourself, to understand Laravel, how it works, how it is structured, and understand the main concepts. But by the end of this level, you're not ready yet for applying to real jobs, in my opinion. That's why I identified advanced beginner level, which is with the goal of actually getting a job or a freelance project. So basically level 1 is to create something for yourself, internally, locally, and level 2 is for others. Here's where you get familiar with more advanced concepts like route model binding, middlewares, eloquent with advanced things like factories and polymorphic relationships and collections. You introduce roles and permissions into your application, uploading files to S3, for example, Amazon, work with APIs, and as kind of a proof that you can create real-life application for others, debugging errors is a very important section. So how to log, how to debug, how to catch the exceptions, what are the tools. I have a lot of links here. Then also sending email is important. Automated tests, this is where it comes to automated tests with PHP unit or PEST, also multi-language, and finally deployment of the project to real server. So it seems like a lot, the list is pretty big, but this is where we get back to the official documentation, which is pretty big. Laravel has a lot of features, but by the end of this level, you would be able to probably find a job. Of course, every situation is individual, and that roadmap is kind of like my own path as I see it generally, but there may be exceptions. You may land a job earlier. You may get lucky, or you may land a project that doesn't require all of those features. But as a typical project in the first few levels, I have demo projects, so simple CRM project, let's open it up. Advanced beginner challenge, which actually suggests you to build a project, also kind of a CRUD, but with more complex functionality and features listed here. So you can create something like that, put it out on GitHub as a proof that you can actually perform the job. And then we go to the mid-level. This is where you practice with a lot of kind of less used features in Laravel while probably already working at a company or freelancing. So stuff like caching, like eloquent extra features and other features of Laravel. Also jobs and queues. Actually, now I'm thinking some of them should be in the advanced beginner level earlier. That part is a bit debatable. So API advanced also include preparing API for frontend like Vue, React, or Flutter, and we will talk about that in a minute. Also, Jetstream, I made it in a mid-level because for majority of cases, Breeze is a good starter kit, and Jetstream is needed only when you actually know what you're doing and you need Jetstream features. Also, in mid-level, you would probably handle payments, advanced testing stuff, full text search, and maybe create your own Laravel packages. So it's an open debate which of those features are for advanced beginners and which are for mid-level. But basically what I see in mid-level is that you just practice more with the same features, getting deeper into them with more examples, more various different examples of using the same feature, and just get more practice. And now we come back to the level which I added just now in 2024, because it seems like everyone needs to be full stack these days. So there's almost no such thing as Laravel developer without being full stack Laravel developer or even full stack PHP developer. And that full stack in Laravel mostly mean two things, either Build stack with Vue.js and Inertia, or Tall stack with Livewire and Alpine. And for both of those cases, I have again links to the docs and my courses. And then finally, as you grow in your career, at some point, there's time to make architectural decisions. So for example, create bigger projects, architect them from scratch so others would use them, make important decisions about scaling, handling the team, and stuff like that. So for that, senior level contains stuff like design patterns, like solid, stuff for scalable, maintainable, and just overall well-written and well-structured code. Also, we're talking about large data sets with NoSQL, for example, working with high-traffic projects, CI/CD, and general ensuring code quality. So this is my roadmap as I see it. It's quite a lot again, but wherever you are on your path, I think you can slice some part of that roadmap and get through the links of that particular section in upcoming weeks or months to be further on that Laravel learning path. In upcoming months, I have an idea to slice that roadmap for particular use cases of like personal stories of types of developers. We'll see how it goes. If I manage to do something useful, then I will of course shoot it on YouTube as a video. So subscribe to the channel to get those mini roadmaps in the future. And if you have any ideas how to improve that roadmap or maybe update the links to tutorials, articles, or courses, shoot in the comments below. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.